What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Sure to like and sub, and let's get into this. And even though we've had now several years of examples of exactly what those Sweet Baby Inc. type consultancy grifter companies do, now, have we ourselves been the ones to point out that they are not the 100% big bad, and that most of the times when they come in, they are further ruining already ruined products? Yes, I think we've been pretty nuanced and clear about that, but one of those you don't hate them enough modern day journalists thinks we still don't know what's going on. So shout out to that part place. Former games journalist attempts to gaslight gamers about DEI consultants. And I do love the way they refer to her rather as Emma Kent, a former games journalist at Eurogamer who now freelances as a mock reviewer for video game developers, attempting to gaslight gamers on what DEI consultants are doing. Now, I will admit that at the very beginning, when we first started talking about, let's say, Sweet Baby Inc. and Alan Wake 2, a large majority thought that the studios were just fine and their games were just fine and untouched, based AF, and we're all going to vote for Trump. And then the consultancy companies came in and they put all the hair colors and trans scars and earrings and septum piercings, blah, blah, blah. No, unfortunately, every single studio that invited the devil into their home by playing the Ouija board of the ESG, and courting the demon money, and they were already corrupted to a certain degree. And then a grifting company like a Sweet Baby Inc. comes in, and boy, they just make sure it's done right. So you can see here's her first gaslight. Hello, game consultant here. Hello, game consultant here. The idea that consultants are forcing diversity into games is ridiculous because 99% of the times the devs have already decided they want their game to be inclusive. To what degree is the question, and we'll talk about that in a second. And just want help fine-tuning how certain stories come across. Hope this helps. Now, I will give her that in a larger case of them than you might think, that last part is true. They are already woked up. They are already inclusive. It already has trans scars. They just want to make sure that the trans scars come from the right hospital, like that type of fine tuning. So not exactly the best of clarifications, because you're still complicit in the ruination of all of our games, but the ideas are already mostly there. Now, where I would suggest is that, and this is the fight I have with my co-host, Erwin Nerd Wars. Make sure to like and share him, sub to him. Don't share him, he's dirty, but sure to subscribe. I believe that originally the Saga Anderson whole thing, she was just a NPC in the game, and then Alan was still the main character, and white, by the way. Saga was white originally. I believe it wasn't until Sweet Baby Inc. came in that they suggested, hey, how about not just making her like a substantial NPC? How about you make her a playable character? And then the race swapping and making her not just race swap, but also half of the player character, where they went back and forth. That, I believe, and many other similar decisions were like, well, we see you've gone 25% inclusive, but how about you go 50%? And then so on and so forth. The people peddling this conspiracy are fabricating rage bait to grow their YouTube channels and social media followings. Well, and that's working great. So shout out to Smash JT and Hypnotic and all the others. I guess me too, even though they've been doing it apparently far better. They do not understand how the industry actually works, even though they've had a bunch of people on the industry who work in the industry, who used to work in the industry. Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. They do not understand how the industry actually works, nor do they care to learn, because they are simply seeking engagement. Not only do we know how it works, but based on the interviews and work that we've actually done, I dare say we might know how it works more than you do, Emma. The fact that this has been brought up again in reference to Dragon Age, the Veilguard, is particularly laughable. Have the people throwing these forced DEI allegations around ever actually played a Bioware game? I sure have. You know what was missing from Dragon Age Origins, Dragon Age 2, and Dragon Age the Inquisition? Trans scars, and every other fucking conversation about a modern day pronoun. No. Did gay characters exist in the previous Dragon Age? They sure did. Were you able to interact with them and have relationships with them? You sure were. But was every single conversation grotesque and on the nose about identity? Was every single spoiler, it wasn't. All right. So this is Corinne Bush, the trans game director of the Veilguard, that has just on the nose, hammered it home and hammered it in. And this is where we get to the shit that we have all seen before, but just so you can understand, in Sweet Baby Inc.'s own mission statement, basically, they talk about actually writing. They talked just now. 2 weeks ago, we got through 5 minutes of a 20-minute video of her talking about, oh, we don't just tweak anymore. We're writing and narrative and this and that. We're a whole game studio basically that's just mobile, like a task force. A DEI task force. Is that not terrifying? So yeah, and this just goes on to reframe it. We've played many a time. Her talking about taking out your marketing team and terrifying if they don't capitulate to your demands. Saying how that not just that, but their whole idea has been to get out there and be mainstream writers and creators. And then, of course, we go on to see all of the companies that still, even though they try to say they don't, have all the DEI and ESG pages inclusive, all the things. Here's Activision, of course. And then we've got PlayStation here, and we see all the fun things going on with them. And then, of course, EA and their whole inclusive culture. And we've gone through these many times. I know it's boring to go through them again, but the point is, we know very well what these grifting companies do. And yes, while they come in and they fine-tune most of the times already corrupted product, it ain't helping. It ain't helping. And many of them are still doing more than that. So I don't know. You let me know what you think. Make sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you.
Well, bye.